Right, bastards, this is Some-Belgian-preppers, and cheers. This will be relevant in the video within a minute, but first of all, today we're going to talk about how to stay cool during a survival situation. Yeah, we all know climate change is coming, energy prices are going higher, so if you cannot, it's going to be expensive, or even there are talks of in Spain where they say you cannot use air conditioning in government buildings at that point or time or something. It has to do to conserve energy. So yeah, by the times we're going ahead, I would say air conditioning will not be as as it used to be, because yeah, like I said, it's going to be expensive. Sometimes can be a blackout, and yeah, climate change. The weather is going to be longer droughts, longer summers. Perhaps always record there in Belgium. There has been several records of heat in the few years in a row. So yeah, that's a thing to look forward to. So we're going to talk about how to stay cool during a bug out, and how to stay cool during a bug-in situation. First, we're going to talk about how to stay cool during a bug out. You probably, or I would advise to look at my video about my bug out simulation, where I walked over 30 kilometers in full in with my bug out bag during a very very hot day. So yeah, I noticed a few errors or a few good things that helped during the time. So I speak from experience right now. All right, during a plugin, what's like you can see, you're probably wondering why am I wearing this when I talk about when it's so hot. Well, the thing is, this is during a bug out one of the best things you can do to stay cool. To stay cooler is perhaps the word, because it's never going to be like an air conditioning. It's about maintaining your body heat to a safe level, and further it's more about willpower, because like I said, it's never going to be cool like inside during a bug out, and yeah, you will have to endure it. So yeah, that's the first thing you need to do, I would say, to embrace and train your mental endurance for physical abuse is perhaps the word. So yeah, try to you how do you exercise for this? Well, perhaps try out a sauna now and then to let your body acclimate to it, or you can try to do the things I'm going to say during normal time, so you're more adept to it when when the difficult times are coming. And yeah, they are coming for sure. So during a bug out, I would say it's very important to. Many people would say if you're going on a hike and it's very warm, you have to wear as less as possible. Well, in my case, that was not an option, because I was walking outside in full plain view of the sun for 30 kilometers, and I did not get burned because of the coconut oil. By the way, that's also a video you need to see about the benefits of coconut oil. Where was I? Ah, yeah. Yeah. So I easily sunburn, and I did not got anything, and the secondary thing is the sweat. So this, if you wear something with long sleeves that covers most of your body, long pants, I would say try to wear colors that are lighter, like gray or white, something that, because black color usually takes in the heat, holds heat more than lighter clothing. So something gray like this is actually perfect for it. The secondary reason, next to avoiding sunburn contact from radiation, how do you say it, heat from the sun, is uh, your body's natural way of staying cool, and that is sweat. sweat is the way of the body that to make the skin wet, make it evaporate, so that the temperature that is too much in your body evaporates and gets driven away from your skin, to say. So the moment if you wear something like this, your clothing will get wet from sweating, but that's what you want. So what normally evaporates is now sticking to the skin, and that is a natural cooling layer that you have. So not only from the shadow from the clothing, but also the sweat that gets hold to your skin. So that's a good thing about this. It probably will not how do you say this, cool you off to a comfortable degree, but it will help in the long run. So yeah, another thing is, like you can see, a hat. A hat will even with in a full plain sun will make a layer of shadow over your face, which can help your body cool. And yet again, the hat can act like the sweater, like I said, that holds on some moisture, and yeah, that cools off the scalp of your skin and help what will not evaporate will go to your how would you say this, glide down through your skin. Of course, sunglasses. So yeah, that's just, it may be not much, but it's a small surface, but like you can see, many small surfaces that get into some sort of shade will help the body cool off a little bit better. So if you do not have a sun, I would advise to get some perhaps some charcoal like this, and you can rub it beneath your eyes so there is some black that will not reflect more. So that's another danger that could happen. And yet again, this is something that happened during the bug out. When the sun was shining to the stone, it reflects from beneath, so you get burned more if you walk on surfaces that reflects more light, and that will heat up your body. So yeah, this is a very good way to cool off during a bug out. The next thing you need to do during a bug out, perhaps another clothing piece that I can talk about, is the shamak. The shamak can like you know, perhaps in my video about 55 uses of shamak, put it around your head. You can perhaps bind it, and that way you can cover your shoulders, your neck, and parts of your head that will can get a little bit shade. Or if you like with the head, you can make this wet, put it around your head or your neck, and that way the neck is one of those places where the blood vessels are close to the surface area. So if this shamak is wet, then it helps cool off some of your blood inside of your body and your neck and a lot of part of the surfaces. So yeah, a wet head, wet shamak around your neck, that could help a lot, especially when you put it around your head. I would also advise, if you're going to use some sort of headgear, you can just put the shamak around your head and put the headgear around it. So it's like with a cap from the Legionnaires, that the back of your neck and your shoulders are a little bit protected from the sun and gets a little bit shade, which can help cooling off the body, especially when this is totally made wet. So those are some tips for during the bug out. Of course, during a bug out, to help cool off, drink enough water, so your body will always have enough sweat to help cool off the skin. Beware, if your sweat starts to smell like ammonia, then you really need to to stop for a break. So you can drink, and yeah, that will help cool a little bit off. Be careful that you do not try to cool off more than you have water, and there is no water near, so that's something you need to be spare with, or take advantage if you find a water source. Next thing, drink something warm like tea. I would not advise to drink warm coffee, because caffeine can help because of the nature of it, of the energy that it provides, can heat up your metabolism and that will actually warm up your body even more from the inside. So I would advise to drink tea, because tea has not that many calories, but there is a certain thing, I know it will sound contradictive, but if you drink something warm or drink tea during a hot day, that helps your body cool off, because from the inside it gives a little bit more warmth, that all over your body, your skin will start to sweat more. So the warmth that you get in from the warm tea is actually producing enough sweat that it will have more cooling effect than heat that will stay in your body. So that's something contradictive to the first thought, but it really helps. And that's the reason why you see in a lot of desert people who live in the desert drink tea and not iced tea, like as we can say. So yeah, that way. Yeah. Another thing I would say is this. We will now talk about the bug-in situation, because this is also part of the bug-in. When the electricity is down, or you're walking, or you're in your garden, or wherever you are, and it's very hot, I would advise to get one of these. It is one of those. How do you call this? You know what this is? I've forgotten the English name for it. Yeah, whatever. You know what this is. When the air conditioning is going out, you can keep one of these in your EDC, or in your bug out bag, or in your car, or at work when the AC is going down. And yeah, this will help cool you off. There is one thing you need to know about this fan. That's the name. A fan. The thing is, it does not work under above 38 degrees Celsius. Why? Because the cooling wind that you blow is heated too much to have a cooling effect. So this is only effective under 38 degrees Celsius. But it's it's still being used in many Asian countries. It's a cooling effect. Yeah, it's not. Many people will find it too feminine, but like I said, a lot of people, especially men in Asian countries, still using these. Perhaps not this kind of model. It can be made out of papers, but it's gonna still work. And yeah, I would advise it to always take it with you during a hot summer, and it's very small to fit inside of your pocket or a small bag. Next thing to stay cool during a bug-in is a foot bath. Well, you can take a big hammer, big bucket like this, fill it up with water, put your feet in it, and let the body heat from your let the heat from your body be soaked, conducted into the water of the foot bath. I would advise to be carefully if you are going to put your feet into very cold water, because some persons might have a weak heart or very sensitive to sudden changes in temperature. And like, you know, if you step out of a hot bath or a shower and you feel a little bit lightheaded, that's something that could happen. So be carefully about that. But a foot bath is a very effective way, and it's also a cheap way. You only need water and a bucket, and yeah, there you can spend your night at the table, inside or in the garden. Especially this is especially handy for more older people who are more susceptible to heat. The next thing you can do is just make yourself a little bit wet with a spray. Spray yourself so to mimic the evaporating effect of water. So yeah, that's another thing you can do. Yeah, so those are the things that you can do to your body. So how do you stay cool during how do you say this, inside of structures? Well, of course, shade. This is also for the bug out situation, but shade is very important. So you got to make sure that you got to see it as a closed system. The sun is like shooting laser. Imagine the sun is shooting laser beams at photons, and you got to block as much so that the heat will not get inside of your house. The first thing you can do is against direct heat, and you can do that by simply putting up curtains, lowering down the, how do you say this, the, if you perhaps can see the, I don't know the English name of it, but you can lower it down, and that will block the sun from the outside of the window, because if you only put drapes on, yeah, it will still go to the glass like a greenhouse effect, and it will not get deeper inside of your house, but it will still get inside your house. So if you're going to block the sun, do it from the outside with those shutters, that's the English name. Close down the shutters in any way, and that way sun rays cannot enter your house and warm it up. Same thing goes for just look for weak spots at the house. There are perhaps some smaller parts that are a little bit thin, like if you have wooden parts on your house, you can try to put an extra layer on it so there is a little bit of space of air between it as an insulating device, insulating way that the sun ray cannot heat up the surface that is connected to your house, so you make a bridge of air that will not conduct the heat from the rays. So that's something you can do on your roof or something like that. The next thing you can do is try to not make heat inside of your house. If you're gonna cook something inside of your house, try to do it in a closed room. Like if your kitchen is closed off with a door, close the door if you're going to cook inside of your house, so that the heat from the kitchen, if you're cooking something, is not going to your living space or your bedroom. That's a kind of way. Do not try to turn on lights or lights that are with old light bulbs. Try to use lights like LEDs, LED lights, because those produce less heat than regular lights. Yeah, it might sound like it's nothing, but imagine how many lights produce how many heat during so many hours during a day inside of a closed house, like with your shutters. So yeah, that way you can save up some heat that will otherwise be inside of your house. The next thing is, do not use machines that create heat. If you have a computer, something like a computer or an other device that is creating some heat for a long time, try to set it in a room that is not close by to the room that you're going to do most of your work or living, so that the heat will not go into the other room, like I said, with the kitchen and the baking of the kitchens, not the how do you say this, the cookers. So yeah, those are things. It might sound small, but a lot of small things make a big thing. The next thing you can do is the Egyptian way. What is the Egyptian way? If you have like here a door or a window, you can just take something like a bed sheet or a towel, something that is the size of the object of the, how do you say this, the door or the window opening. So what you want to do is make the cloth, the bed sheet or the towel wet, hang it in front I'm going to do it like this. Hang it in front of your window, so wide open. So what will happen? The wind that will blow from outside will, even if it's warm, hot air, will blow through the wet cloth or fabric or the sheets, and it will get cooled off and blow a little bit of cooler air inside of your house. So you have to make a choice actually. Do you close the door fully, or do you hang a sheet to it with an open door so it has a more cooling effect? So yeah, that's something you need to think about. Another thing you can do with the Egyptian style is, if you're going to use something like a ventilator to cool down the house, you can help it more by putting water beneath it. The evaporating water will get blown inside of your house by the ventilator, or you can take a wet towel and put it in front or a little bit around the ventilator. Make sure that the water will not, how do you say it, make a shortcut how do you say this? That it will not make the shortcut with the electrical parts of the ventilator. So be very carefully about that. But the blowing winds and the wet towel will blow, like I said before with the door and the window, blow a little bit colder air inside of the room. So that's something that handy that could be applied to a house. Um, Another thing, yeah, I think I'm done around here. If your bedroom is on the second floor, I would advise to get to sleep for the summer or for the duration of the heat wave to a lower part of the house, because the roof is usually the part that will heat up the most. You have to be carefully about, like I said, if you think that the heat wave will last a long time and even the walls will heat up like this, even with even with the long duration of the heat wave, you can try to put something in front of it, like a tarp or perhaps some planks or boards that you have that you can, for a certain extent, cool off certain parts of the walls of your house so that the heat will not be conducted to the inside during a long duration heat wave. Um, Another thing is, if you're going to sleep, like I said, do it in the lower part or sleep in the basement, but be carefully about, if you're going to sleep in the basement to have a cool night of sleep. Be carefully that there is no chance that there is monoxide poisoning in there by always sleeping a whole night in a lower thing. So if you're going in the basement, do not sleep on the floor, sleep on something like a field bed that is a little bit higher, that so you do not get onto the layer of monoxide poisoning that you will form by constantly breathing out. The next thing is, if you're going to sleep, I would advise to sleep as low as possible in the room that you are, because heat goes up and the lower you are, the less heat there is. So yeah, that's perhaps kind of obvious. So in the summertime, I would advise to put your bed aside, take the mattress and let them just put the mattress onto the ground, and that way you will sleep cooler. Another tip, if you're going to sleep on a mattress and you want to be cooler in the night, I know it all might sound stupid, but if you're going to sleep in a room, I would advise during the night and this is not only for sleeping but also for just generally into the house during a heat wave. If you're going to a room, open the doors or the windows at night so the cooler air gets in, and the moment the sun goes up, you close the window and you close it down with shutters or drapes or something in front of it so the rays do not get in anymore. So you hold on for that cooler air for a little bit longer, so that you can extend the cooler period inside of your house. And especially if you're going to the night, if you're sleeping at night and yeah, open up your window, that's a little bit more cooler to sleep. Another thing I would suggest to do if you're going to have a cool night of sleep, sleep with your arms and your legs open. I know this will have some problems with your significant other, but it's actually a way. If you have, I would only advise this if you're really, if you cannot stand the heat. I'm more of a winter person, so I know what I'm talking about. So if you sleep close to you, your body heat will be conducted to your own body, so it's kind of reused. So if you sleep with your arms a little bit wider and your legs, you have more surface that the heat will not be conducted to your body. I know it sounds small, but every little bit helps. I think I'm almost through. I talked about the heat, the begin, but yeah, I think I'm almost through. Yeah, if you one more little tip, of course, if you want your drink a little bit colder, I would, especially this beer, I would advise to um, put it into one of these stone jars. These stone jars, I've tested them out, and you probably heard me talking about this in another video. It works during a whole evening outside. My beer did not get warm, but do not drink alcohol if you have how do you say this? If you have if you cannot stand the heat, because alcohol is also a bad idea if you're going to try to stay cool. But I just like a beer, and it's just a little tip, a little life hack for this. So I hope you learned something from this. Uh, Subscribe, I would really appreciate it. If you got any other ideas that you can use to cool off during a heat wave, during a bug out, a bug in, or just generally in life without the use of electricity, without the use of appliances like ventilators, air conditioning, or something else that's something else like that. Imagine there is a blackout or survival situation, shit hit the fan, it's too expensive for the electrical bill. We need to think outside of the box. We need to think, how do people do it in other countries, like at Ecuador, or in Asian countries where it's very warm. How do they stay cool? There are some other small tips you can do, like do not do your most of your chores at night. Uh, Take regular breaks into the shades. Do not work at the middle of the day when the warmth and the sun is at their highest. Those are just some small common sense tips, but unfortunately we do not live in this sort of society. We always need to be at our best productive, and yeah, that's the reason why they need ventilation and air conditioning a lot, to be productive and effective for every time of the day of the year. And yeah, that's something that we've forgotten as humans, that we must live by the rhythm of nature, but we always try to get nature to our hands. Yeah, we can do a lot with it, but yeah, during survival situation we are a little bit more dependent. We can see how dependent we are on it. So that was a little rant of me. So subscribe if you have any other ideas to cool off in any situation without the help of machines and electricity. Please let me know. I'm always eager to learn. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, and and see you in the next video. And for the stay cool, stay hydrated, and stay fresh. Cheers.